It's often the best players who win the most trophies. Pelé has won the most World Cups, Ryan Giggs has won the most Premier League titles, and Francisco Gento holds the records for both the European Cup and La Liga. We wanted to take a look at some less talented players to have got their hands on multiple silverware over the years though. Players like Ferguson, who won the World Cup, the Copa America, the Confederations Cup, an FA Cup, and 3 further trophies despite his limited talents. Or Ivan Campo, who was a decent player for Bolton but won 1 La Liga title, 1 Intercontinental Cup, and 2 Champions Leagues with Real Madrid. There isn't an exact metric or rubbishness to trophies won chart, but obviously the trophies are weighted, with the World Cup and the Champions League on one end, and less illustrious honours on the other. Here are our 7 worst players to win the most trophies. Igor Biscan. Much maligned during his early years at Liverpool, before becoming something of a cult hero, Igor Biscan wasn't the most talented footballer. The former Croatian international, who played in both midfield and central defence for the Reds, made 117 appearances in 5 seasons at Anfield. Having been dreadful under Gerard Houllier, he was rejuvenated under Rafa Benitez. An unused substitute in the 2005 Champions League final, he still got a winner's medal. That was his 4th trophy with the Reds, having already won a League Cup, Community Shield, and a European Super Cup, in addition to the 6 trophies he won with Dynamo Zagreb. Roque Carroll. Second choice goalkeepers can often pick up a handful of winners' medals without playing a great deal of football. Richard Wright, Stuart Taylor, and Pinto are all examples of that. Roque Carroll is another. Still going strong aged 40, Carroll has won 12 trophies as a player, most notably a Premier League title in 2003 and the FA Cup in 2004. The former Hull City and Wigan Athletic man also won 5 trophies in just 3 seasons with Olympiakos, despite averaging only 11 games a season in Greece. Michele Padovano. Into the top 5, and we're now talking about players with extraordinary trophy cabinets in relation to their ability. In 5th is Michele Padovano, a journeyman forward who averaged worse than a goal every 3.5 games over the course of his career. Before joining Juventus in 1995, Padovano had won just 2 trophies, and they both came in Italy's 3rd tier. In his 2 years in Turin though, Padovano won 6 trophies, including the Champions League and a Serie A title. He left Juve for Crystal Palace, where he scored once in 12 games. Roque Junior. We said that trophies were weighted, and that should explain the inclusion of Roque Junior. The retired defender won both the World Cup and the Champions League, in addition to 8 further trophies, which include the Coppa Italia and the Confederations Cup. Clearly, having won 48 caps for Brazil, Roque Junior can't have been totally useless, but he certainly looked it in England with Leeds United, and he still tended to look a liability with Brazil. He made just 44 appearances in 4 years with AC Milan, where he won 2 trophies. David May. When people think of bang-average players who won a hatful of trophies, David May is probably the first player that comes to mind. The Lancashire-born utility player began his career with Blackburn Rovers before joining Manchester United. He spent 9 years under the watchful eye of Sir Alex Ferguson at Old Trafford, but was only a regular in the 1996-97 season. He averaged less than 10 games a season in total, but that didn't stop him winning more trophies than Francesco Totti. May won 2 Premier League titles, 2 FA Cups, 2 Community Shields, and 1 Champions League with Manchester United. Djimi Traore. Whilst David May wasn't a great player, he wasn't a total train wreck of a defender like Djimi Traore. Capped 6 times by Mali, Liverpool signed Traore after he had played only 5 league games as a professional. In 7 years at Anfield, he made 141 appearances. In a career of highs and lows, Traore had some very good games, but he always had a calamitous mistake in him, and as such, should never really have made it as a defender at the highest level. Despite that fact, he won 6 trophies as a player, 4 coming at Liverpool. The most notable of Traore's trophy wins was a triumph with Liverpool in the 2005 Champions League final. Peggy Arpexad. Is it Peggy Arpexad or Peggy Arpexad? We're not quite sure. Let us know in the comments if you are, but we'll go with the former for now. The 3rd former Liverpool player to make this 7, and Peggy Arpexad is our very deserved winner. Born in the Caribbean, Arpexad was a perennial number 2. He made just 39 league appearances over the course of his entire 16-year career, 21 of which came with Leicester City. Most incredibly of all, our Pekstad won 6 trophies with Liverpool, despite playing only 2 games for the Reds. He won a League Cup with Leicester before his move to Merseyside, ending his career with 7 trophies to his name. That's it for our top 7. Honourable mentions go to the likes of Jonathan Greening, Ivan Campo, Luke Chadwick and Cleverson. Thanks for watching, let us know your suggestions in the comments, give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to HITC Sevens.